Hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen. And has Chris Mims been watching my videos? No, I just thought it was inevitable because of the cost it costs to hold those protests. It's not economical for the state to keep it going. That's all. I just thought, well, if I was in his position, I'd get him to just go do it in that park, okay? Get off the roads.
Protest zones could soon be introduced to limit where Sydney-siders can rally, even as existing laws are challenged in court. The state government today signalling it will try to block a United Nations intervention in the case.
It's the protester versus the Premier.
This is a man who is seemingly obsessed with trying to stop our right to protest in this state.
Having the central part of Sydney's CBD occupied week after week after week does have an impact.
To keep the streets clear, Chris Minns is now considering relegating rallies to stay in the domain. He's also awaiting a report due tomorrow expected to recommend laws banning this phrase.
The phrase globalise the intifada is an invitation to violent uprising in Australia, and I don't want it.
Right now, a red zone remains in Sydney where all marches are banned.
I have extended that declaration through to the 3rd of February.
Laws that were rushed through after the Bondi terrorist attack now being challenged by activists. That constitutional challenge was today elevated to be heard in the state's highest court as the United Nations sought to intervene in the case.
It is difficult to imagine someone who is more qualified than Professor Saul.
Professor Saul, a UN human rights rapporteur applying to advise the court on international law, the state's lawyer argued it could be irrelevant.
And if the government wants to oppose that, well, then I think that just says even more about the lack of respect that Chris Minns seemingly has for international law.
I'm perplexed, though, as to why the UN cares whether they have their protests in the street or in the park. Now, in regards to the banning of this, here's some more from Josh.
They set up this so-called inquiry, which had you had a week or two to make submissions to. They said they're not even going to publish all the submissions. There's going to be no public hearings.
Wow.
And within 2 weeks, this inquiry has to come up with a way to, and it's the terms of reference of the inquiry are point one, how do we ban the phrase globalise the intifada? That's what the inquiry is setting up to do. So, really real fact-finding mission they're going on there.
Have they asked for your expert opinion, Josh?
No, they did not. And this is actually outrageous. So, they're attacking the Palestine Action Group more than anyone, accusing us. I mean, we've never even chanted that, as we know, but whatever. The facts don't matter in this new world. And they're setting up a so-called inquiry, and they've invited, supposedly, organisations to make submissions to the inquiry, but they haven't invited the group they're accusing of doing something to make any submissions, and we don't expect to be allowed to speak in that inquiry, and if they do, it'll be secret. So it's pretty wild. Even in the show trials of McCarthy or Stalin, even in them, the accused got to be present.
Give a speech to defend themselves.
Yeah, and the UN being concerned that a road would be used for cars and bikes and trucks and things, not for people to march up and down, because it is a road that's been built for cars and bikes and trucks and whatever, not for pedestrians to march up and down. Why does the UN care? I don't know. Maybe Josh has got some more to tell us about that too.
Do you feel that on Invasion Day, if the protest is banned, people will defy that ban and come out anyway?
People will definitely come out and protest. Yeah, nothing's going to stop that. But there'll be a big question over the march. And already this. I'm not sure exactly what the protest organisers plan to do for Invasion Day, but for the rally this Sunday about the Black Deaths in Custody, organisers there have been saying very bravely that they're going to march, they're going to defy this ban. We'll all be there and we'll see what happens. They're also, as I understand, saying, because part of it is saying to the cops, well, you do actually have the discretion, so will you give us a commitment that you're not going to enforce this ban and so on. But Yeah, and then of course as well we've launched this constitutional challenge. So the Palestine Action Group and the Black Caucus, which organises the Invasion Day March and other rallies, and Jews Against Occupation 48, we've jointly launched a constitutional challenge to these laws, which we were hoping to get a rapid hearing so that we could have it heard before Invasion Day and hopefully get the law struck down and preserve the right to march on Invasion Day and so on. But yeah, the powers that be have basically prevented that from happening. So
I feel like they've probably learnt the lesson of
Yeah, the
letting
last time.
PAG representatives take them to court and then just wipe the floor with them.
yeah,
Thanks, Josh. Another thing I said in that video when I said if I was in government, I'd get them to use the park and not march up and down the street where the cars are supposed to go, is that it's going to be inevitable, or if I was in government, I'd have bikes registered, all bikes, because if it's crossed my mind, the State Revenue Office would have thought about it ages ago.
The New South Wales opposition has promised e-bike riders under the age of 18 will require licence plates if the coalition wins the March 2027 election. Opposition leader Kelly Sloan said the scheme, which would be the first in Australia, would address the mounting community concern. Bicycles with powerful throttles and motors have surged in popularity recently, with injuries at Sydney's Children's Hospital having doubled since 2024.
Up to 6 k's an hour, okay?
Under the proposed scheme, parents would be required to purchase a government-supplied licence plate expected to cost about $20. The Coalition's plans would include penalties for non-compliance, though these were not detailed.
Anyway, that'll do. I've got much more exciting things to do than gambling or guessing. See you later. Bye.